NBA fans, we are just 24 hours away from the 2024 NBA draft getting underway. And make sure you join us for our live draft coverage. Myself and Harrison Graham will be live on the channel breaking down all 30 picks in the first round. This is the thumbnail, so if you're scrolling on YouTube Wednesday night and see it, click on it and join us as we're going to have the best coverage on YouTube surrounding the NBA draft. I am Nic Rohloff. Welcome into NBA Now, where we have a final mock draft. Like I mentioned off the top, under 24 hours away from the real thing getting underway, and I have my 7th mock draft of the pre-draft process. Final one, no turning back now. And we'll start with Donovan Clingan, who I actually moved up to the number 1 overall pick in my most recent draft that I put up last week. I don't think Atlanta actually wants to keep this pick. I think they're trying to bait Washington into trading up to number 1 to grab Alex Sarr. And I do buy into that smoke. I think Quinn Snyder, the coach of Atlanta, really likes Clingan as he is compared to a Rudy Gobert-esque center who protects the rim, limited offensive game, and he had a lot of success in Utah with Gobert as his defensive anchor. I think he's going to try to replicate that with Clingan. I think the possibility he goes number 1 if they don't find a trade down partner with Washington is very real. Which brings me to number 2. I do believe that the Wizards, if Atlanta goes in a different direction, will want Alex Sarr. They need a forward or center in that front court very, very badly after trading Daniel Gafford away. Sarr, my number 1 prospect in this entire draft. I compare him to like a Chris Bosh, Evan Mobley type, and if he's able to figure out that jumper, he does have all-NBA potential, one of the few guys in this class that actually has that upside. The Rockets go with Reed Sheppard, and I've kept this top 3 in my mock draft relatively consistent over the last week and a half. I think Reed Sheppard is a perfect fit in Houston because he can do it all. He can be on ball. He can play off ball. He's an excellent point of attack defender as well. Fits really nicely next to Amen Thompson, Jalen Green, can be mentored by Fred VanVleet as well. Sheppard can do it all. I love the fit in Houston. Stephon Castle at number 4. Last week on my mock draft, I had Zaccharie Risacher. This time I go with the UConn guard, as I do believe that San Antonio is going to look to grab a backcourt piece to pair up with Victor Wembanyama early, whether it be Castle, Sheppard if he slips there, or maybe even a Nikola Topic if they feel the partially torn ACL isn't that big of a deal. But Castle's someone who can defend, he can shoot, he can pass the rock as well. I like his upside, and if he reaches his full potential, which is a big if, he and Wembanyama could be a nasty duo that takes San Antonio back to the mountaintop. Question, though, and I thought this was a fun one to discuss. We talked about the potential trade out of number 1 from Atlanta. I want to get your prediction. Over or under 4.5 trades in round 1? I asked producer Coop this, and I asked how the line was. He thought it was a good line, and he actually didn't even give me an answer. That's how good it was. If you're asking me, I'm probably typing my O's for overs, but let me know your votes down below. We're going to keep things rolling with Matas Buzelis, the forward from G League Ignite, and I got to be honest, 4 out of these 5 in the top 5, I feel like are almost like locks. Now, it's hard to say locks, but I do feel confident about Buzelis having a floor of Detroit at number 5, and I do like Reed Sheppard to Houston. Buzelis, one of the best defensive prospects in this draft, is a perfect fit next to Sarr Thompson and Jalen Duren in that front court. And if he's able to develop some offensive game from the perimeter, this is one of the better two-way forwards in this draft. A little bit of a stunner here. Someone that rose up. I've had him kind of consistently outside the top 10 in my most recent mocks, but I think Cody Williams could be a surprise guy that goes earlier than expected. In Charlotte and number 6 feels like a good landing spot. Cody, he can shoot it. He can defend it. Raw player, but Charlotte's not in a timetable to win recent, and they can rely on the LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller duo to continue to bring things up, and Cody just being a very good connecting piece that can possibly blossom into something else like his brother Jalen Williams did at OKC. Donovan Clingan, the forward from Tennessee, heads to Portland, number 7 here. I think this is his floor. I think Clingan is the best three-point shooter in this class. I know Reed Sheppard shoots at a higher clip. Jared McCain's in consideration as well, but in based off pure volume from the college level, Connect is the best three-point scorer in this class, if you ask me. One of my favorite prospects in Portland who can use some wing scoring to connect, no pun intended, the front court and back court could work out really well. Zaccharie Risacher heads to San Antonio at 8, and I tell you what, Spurs fans might be doing dances in the streets if this ends up happening on Wednesday evening. If they walked away with this draft in the first round of Stephon Castle and Risacher, it would be unbelievable. Two really good pieces to build alongside Victor Wembanyama. I do think it's unlikely Risacher falls to 8. I'm just not the highest on his upside, if you ask me, but he could be a good front court pairing with Victor Wembanyama. Rob Dillingham, there's a real chance he slides outside the lottery. I think some fits for him in this first round is 9 here at Memphis, 15 for the Miami Heat, and potentially maybe OKC or Portland in the late lottery, but I have Grizzlies taking him here. They need some scoring off the bench to help out Ja Morant. Marcus Smart might be moved this offseason as well. Dillingham, one of the most fluid ball handlers and scorers, could fit well off the Memphis bench. Nikola Topic, he slides here to 10. My number 2 overall player in this draft. I am in love with his game, his ability to play make at his size at 6'6". He just needs to improve his three-point shooting, but that first step is there for Topic. And if he recovers from that partially torn ACL, which is to be expected, I still believe he will be one of the top 3 players coming out of this draft, and the Jazz get a steal here at 10 because of that little slide. Devin Carter at 11, the guard/forward from Providence, head to Chicago. One of the highest floors in this draft. And after Chicago trades away Alex Caruso, they could be in the market for a guard/forward that can defend and just do all the little things right. Devin Carter absolutely does that. 6'2" with a 6'8" wingspan. Super athletic. Shot 37% from 3 at Providence a year ago while averaging 19 points. I am very bullish on Carter's game. I think he's a good player that can fit a win-now system, but maybe Chicago just takes BPA here with Carter. Tajon Salon stays here at 12, a pairing that I've had for the past week or so. And I just think Sam Presti, he has a type, and Salon matches that quite well. So I'd expect if he's there at 12 for Sam Presti to continue to do what he always does and draft a high upside guy, potentially from overseas. And, well, Salon could be that dude. Ron Holland, the forward from G League Ignite, who many believe could be the best player in this draft. Many believe he could slide outside the lottery. I have him going here to 13 to Sacramento. Malik Monk re-signed with the Kings, which was very surprising if you ask me. So now their needs shift to more front court wing defender type. Ron Holland fits that perfectly. I think Ron Holland, as much as people say he might slip out of lottery, I don't think he falls past 13 after Monk re-signed with Sacramento. Yeah, Zach Edey here to round out the lottery. There's a lot of buzz about how much Portland likes him. Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer said, don't be surprised if he's the pick at 7, let alone 14. If I do believe that, which I don't think KOC would put that out there if it didn't mean anything, I believe Zach Edey won't make it out of the lottery. Portland has 2 lottery picks. If they make both, I think Edey's going to be one of them. So I have him going 14th to the Portland Trail Blazers. You make the call for me. Will Zach Edey end up going in the lottery? What does the lottery mean? Well, you've heard that term used on today's show and in the past. It means the top 14 picks, the teams that did not make the postseason. Will Zach Edey go in the top 14? Y for yes, N for no. Tristan Da Silva leads off our post-lottery here, going to the Miami Heat. This is just the most Heat pick ever, if you ask me. Does all the little things right. Caleb Martin expected to decline his player option and get the bag in free agency. They'll replace his wing depth, scoring, shooting, and IQ with Da Silva from Colorado. Jared McCain, the guard from Duke, going to the Sixers here at 16. I love McCain. He's actually my 9th player on my big board. I think his three-point shot is going to translate really quick and repeatable, good off-ball mover, but can also defend. To me, he would be a really good pairing if they wanted to start McCain with Tyrese Maxey, or if they wanted to be bringing McCain off the bench. Either one works for me. He can play on ball, he can play off ball, defend, shoot, everything you look for in a modern NBA guard. Kel'el Ware to the Lakers at 17. A lot of buzz out there that the Lakers are looking to move Anthony Davis back to the 4, and I'm not sure Ware would be able to start year 1 for the Lakers and move AD to the 4, but it can be the case long term. The Indiana center, 7 feet tall, good wingspan, shot 43% from 3 last year on 1.5 attempts a game. He gives you the ability to space the floor as well as have a rim protector next to Anthony Davis. Carlton Carrington, the guard from Pitt to the Orlando Magic, one of my favorite fits in this draft. Carrington is just someone that reminds me a lot of Darius Garland in a way, like he gets fluid and into his jump shot. Like, he's a really good mid-range scorer, and the Magic just need more scoring from the perimeter, especially giving more help to Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. Carrington, if he's still there, good size on him too, 6'4" with a 6'8" wingspan. I think he's a really good fit for Orlando. I compare him to like a tall Kemba Walker. Yves Missi, the center from Baylor, heading to the Toronto Raptors at pick 19. They need more size off the bench. They just locked up Scotty Barnes on a mega extension, 5-year, $270. They get Missi, who could back up Jakob Poeltl, learn behind him, and then become the starting center of the future in Toronto. That's a rebuilding team. Missi has a lot of upside if he's able to develop more of a face-up game, which he showcased a little bit at Baylor. I think this is a good fit for the long term with Toronto and Missi. Filipowski, Cavaliers. I think this is a fun fit, to be honest. He can provide a lot of things that Cleveland hasn't had in their front court with Mobley and Jared Allen. Who knows if Allen's going to be here heading into next season, but if he's not, Filipowski could be the good backup center to Mobley, who I'd expect them to move to the 5. He can space the floor, he can pass it, he can shoot it, he can handle a little bit for his size. The only thing is he doesn't handle physicality well, and he's not the best defender, things that he'll have to improve on, but offensive upside is there for the big man out of Duke. The Pelicans lead us off here at 21 with Isaiah Collier, the guard from USC. This is a bulldog, man. I like him. Interesting to see how far he slides. I think he's a lottery-type player. I have him 16th on my big board. He's a ferocious driver of the basketball, and when he gets downhill, not many could stop him due to his 205-pound frame at 6'2.5". He finishes extremely well, can pass it as well. I like a Collier. Could be a good backup guard in New Orleans. Tyler Kolek heads to Phoenix at 22. I think the Suns are just going to look for a player that is very experienced and can contribute right away due to their needs of having rotation players on the cheap because of the contracts to Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Kolek can run a second unit right away. I think this is a good fit. Shoots the 3-ball, high IQ guy. Fun fit here for the Suns and the Tyler Kolek. Jalen Tyson heads to the Milwaukee Bucks at 23, another one of my favorite players. This is actually a fun pairing because I have him 23rd on my big board, and then he heads to 23 here on the Bucks. He can score at all 3 levels. He can handle the rock. He can play off ball. Skilled handler that plays at his own speed. Doesn't settle either. Gets to the rack. Excellent pick and roll handler. Gets the defenders on his back. Can get to a step back, can get to the mid-range, get to the rack. I think learning behind Damian Lillard, but also being able to play off-ball year 1 provides a lot of flexibility for him and Milwaukee. Tyson's someone I didn't have as a first-round pick on my big board a couple weeks ago, but has been rising quite a bit here. I think a good landing spot in the mid-20s. Still 7 picks to get to in this mock draft, but make sure you subscribe for the best NBA draft coverage. I mentioned off the top, we're going to be live, but we're also going to have pick analysis. We're going to have the full results of the first round. We're going to have draft grades, rumors coming out of the draft. We will have it all. So make sure you hit that sub button and join us here at Chat Sports. Knicks have back-to-back picks at 24 and 25. We'll see if they make both of them. But if they do stay here, I like a little forward pairing of Ryan Dunn and Tyler Smith from the G League Ignite. There is no worse-kept secret than the Knicks' liking of Ryan Dunn from Virginia, the best defender in this NBA draft. The question is he going to be able to be a asset on the offensive end? And then Tyler Smith, athletic forward, who's got really good size on him. He comes in at 6'9" with a 7'1" wingspan, explosive athlete. Probably not going to be able to contribute to the Knicks year 1, but a little bit of development in the G League, then he could make a splash in his second season under Tom Thibodeau. Final 5 picks here. Keyshawn George, the forward from Miami, heads to Washington at 26. High upside three-point shooter who's got good size to him. He's confident. 68.4% of his shots came from three. That is quite the clip of his shot profile. But he shot it at 40.8%. So he shot him and he made them. George is someone, if he's able to get better at finishing underneath the rim and inside the three-point arc, as well as getting his handle up, is someone who can be versatile at the wing, 6'7", 6'10" wingspan. Washington taking a high upside pick there with George. Terrence Shannon Jr., the forward/guard from Illinois here at 27 to the T-Wolves. T-Wolves need more bench scoring. They'll get it with Shannon Jr., who averaged 23 a year ago for the Fighting Illini. There was questions about his off-the-court issues, but those were handled. Shannon good to go. I think it will move him up really close to this first-round range. We'll see if he goes in the first round. I am at 41 on my big board. Older prospect, but he can get to the free throw line, average damn near 8 free throws a game for Illinois a year ago, taxed the basket, and is a good scorer at all three levels. Maybe the most confident mock draft pick I have in this entire draft, I'm not even kidding, is Duron Holmes heading to the Nuggets at 28. It feels like the Nuggets gave him a promise. There was that report about 3 weeks ago that a team in the first round gave Holmes a promise that if he's there, that he's getting taken, and Holmes canceled workouts. A lot of people think it's Denver. I am one of them. Makes a lot of sense. Holmes with a lot of talent to be a floor-spacing big man, won Defensive Player of the Year in the A-10 for the Flyers a year ago. Learns behind Jokic, and maybe the Nuggets finally have their backup center that they thought they were getting with Zeke Naji in this draft. Johnny Furphy, the second pick for the Jazz here. I like Furphy, man. As pretty as a jump shot as you'll find, it's so aesthetically pleasing, good base, good arc, good hand-wrist flick moment, if you will. Furphy, who's very young, got a lot of things that he has to work on, but a high upside pick here for Utah, who isn't ready to compete right now, makes a lot of sense for me. Last pick in this draft, Pacome Dadier, the forward from France, going to the Boston Celtics. Rich get richer, right? They don't need a player to impact their rotation, as they're going to have basically everyone back. Their starting five will be back. They're going to have Al Horford back. Sam Hauser's still there. Pritchard's still there. If you don't need to fix it, why not swing for the fences and go for someone that in 2 to 3 years could be a unbelievably high rotation player for you? So they do that in Dadier, who's going to probably be a G League player for a couple seasons, but maybe he can make a massive impact on the Celtics team in 2 to 3 years. All right, that's going to do it for this mock draft. Final one. We'll see what happens on the real thing Wednesday night. But grade by final mock draft for me, A, B, C, D, or F. Get the comment section flowing with some letter grades. Like I said, one more time, make sure you subscribe to the channel and you join us for our NBA live draft coverage on Wednesday night. Clingan, will he go number 1? Bronny James, you see him, will he go in the first round? We will be breaking down pick by pick, analysis, full thing. You won't need anywhere else to be. So hit that sub button and join us Wednesday night. I'll see you there. Peace out.